Oh, hello friend. What are you doing here? I was just about to start the episode, and you just shimmied on over to say hello. Well, hello. Hi everybody, and welcome back to Twilight Princess HD. In the last episode we did the second half, or the second third, of the City in the Sky, the 7th dungeon of the game. And that Argorok just nearly flew straight into the blades of that fan up there. But no, it didn't do him any damage. Let me deal with you ahead of time. Hello, you've come to see me. But yeah, in the last episode we explored the second third of the City in the Sky. And in today's episode we're going to be heading towards the big tower in the north of City in the Sky, where the boss awaits us. And in order to get there we need to have these wind currents blowing from behind us. We switched the fan on in the last episode. That's the entire purpose of the room above the central room, is to turn on the fan, and this blows these propellers around, and they've got claw-shot meshes on them that you can hold on to. And this is the only way that we can cross this big gap. And one more, but I want to hold on to this one for as long as possible. These Argoroks are surprisingly not attacking me much at all. I mean, they have the opportunity to, but they're just ignoring me. What we want to do is grip onto this fan here, and behind it is a very sneaky chest, and it's the last chest that we need to open. And it's purple ruby, that's fine. Oh, before I forget, in between episodes I took a bit of damage off screen, so I've drunken my blue potion, so I won't be able to use that for something like the boss or anything. But it knocked me down to 3 hearts, and I thought, well, I'm not going to start the episode on just 3 hearts, that's suicide really. Anyway, in here we're in the central tower, and it's a big climb to the top. I'm sure I mentioned a couple of episodes back, but I'm not a huge fan of vertical rooms. And also in this dungeon I seem to keep referring to huge fans, but in here we have another Eralthos. In fact, we have 2. And let's... oh, I very badly timed that one. Well, that was stupid. Let me quickly get you, bring you down to earth, and I should be able to deal with you much simpler than the other ones, because... oh, okay. Because you're not going to do the flying around bit that the other ones did. And then we dealt with them pretty... apparently I can't shield the dive bomb they do. Well, that's interesting. Oh, that one dropped a purple rupee. So yeah, this is our first instance of a mini-boss in a dungeon coming back for a second round, and being slightly harder in combat. This one, not too tricky at all, especially if you use Helm Splitter and then various techniques. You can stun them for long enough to just take them down. You only need to drag them down once, and there will be another occasion later on where we fight more Eralthos and more Darknuts as well. Darknuts are the other mini-boss that starts appearing more frequently after their initial dungeon. Although we are still in the City in the Sky, so I don't know if those two count as another mini-boss of any kind. So from here, we got these propellers again that we saw outside a minute ago, but they're not turning. But these propellers, they start turning whenever we hit the crystal switches. But the crystal switches only activate a few propellers. You can see there's another propeller at the top that just isn't moving. And we need to make our way up the room. The difficulty with using the claw shot on moving targets is you need to anticipate where the target is going to be and aim slightly ahead of time. If you fall onto one of these ledges, I'm sure there are like various goodies in these pots. Maybe just rupees. I think one of the ones further up has a fairy in it, so I'll be sure to look for that. I'm sure there's one around here where choo-choos just drop down from the ceiling. But let's continue up this room. It's a bit repetitive, this room. All we're doing is the same thing over and over. And yeah, that's what I was talking about with the moving targets before. Come on, grab it, Link. Nope, oh, I'm in a bad position. Maybe I should have gripped onto the other side. Also, the camera gets a little bit strange around here because we're being pushed up against a wall, like all the way around. And so the camera's like really zoomed in, so you can't see Link at all. And all you've got is his hand sticking out of the screen. And there's one more little alcove in the wall over here. Please grab on. Is this one with the choo-choos? I think it is. I might be able to hear them dropping. Where are you? Where are you? There you are. It'd be nice if one of these was a blue chew, so I could, like, replenish the blue potion that I used at the end. What? Damn it, fairy, I didn't want to pick you up. I just wanted to break the pot. That's annoying. There's only one fairy in this dungeon, and that was it. I would have liked to... Oh, hello. Just in time. Let's get some blue chew jelly. So hopefully I won't need a fairy at all, because that was kind of annoying. It just flew straight into me. What a waste. What a waste. I wasn't even that low on health. Anyway, let's get up to the next propeller. These are propellers, I think. Although a propeller would indicate that it propels something. But these just seem to be spinning in circles. Not powering anything in particular. Well, from here, what I need to do is get onto this one, I think. There is a claw shot target on the other side that I can't reach. And all I need to do is hit this crystal switch to start rotating this one again. I'm going to refer to them as propellers, because, you know, they're shaped like them. They just don't have the same function. And that allows me next to the claw shot target, and here is the boss door. So yeah, we haven't spent an awful lot of time wandering around in this episode. Maybe I badly paced this dungeon, I don't know. I always knew that I was going to split this into 3 parts because it is quite a long dungeon. But yeah, this third part isn't going to be particularly long, because that vertical tower took little to no time at all. And the boss probably won't take that long either. Though the boss does have 2 phases, so... So from here, we're now in the exterior again, and we can sort of, like, wander around a bit. I don't know if there's anything, like, to explore that I've hidden over here. Any sort of Easter eggs? No, just the crumbling platform. Be interesting if they hid something over there. It does look like there should be something over there, because of the way the path bends around the tower. Sort of goes around. But what we need to do is grip onto this wall, and then clamber onto these vines up here. If I can grab onto them higher up, that would be nice, so that I'm not wasting too much time climbing. And here we have the boss arena. And here is the boss of City in the Sky, Argorok, a dragon that I'm referring to. So yeah, the name, I haven't mentioned his name before. Not that it's like a spoiler or anything, but, you know, I just feel like I'd leave it till the boss arena to reveal his true name. And yeah, it's Argorok. Not entirely sure if it has any naming conventions compared to other enemies in the series. But this boss is very easy, I have to admit. The bosses in this game generally are, every single one of them. I can't really think of one that poses too much of a challenge. But with this boss we have to wait for him to swoop around the arena. And I'm not a huge fan of this boss. I said it again, huge fan. Because, yeah, it's just a case of waiting around. And I don't have too much patience with this game. Everything does seem to be a bit slow. But what we need to do is, when he stops and hovers above the arena, is claw shot onto his tail, which is a convenient hook shape, and then equip the iron boots, or equip the iron boots beforehand, and that will drag him down into the ground and break off his armour. And then he'll go around and fly again for another minute or so, I don't know, for another, 30 seconds. I generally don't think that he's very accurate here. He glides across the arena, scraping his claws. But he always takes that path, so if you're not standing there, he's not going to hit you at all. The only thing that could really affect you there is the wind that can blow you off, but then you just equip the iron boots. You notice you're being blown back, so equip the iron boots. Around this arena are a bunch of these 4 big towers with mesh on them, And we can climb it up with our double claw shots. In fact, we have to do this for the second hit, because Argorok, instead of being hovering just above the ground, hovers quite high into the air, and so we need to climb up the towers slightly in order to get a lock on his tail. And then equip the Iron Boots and drag him back down to Earth, shattering the next set of armour off him. So you might think there's going to be a third hit, because he's still got armour left on. But no, he's a bit of a stupid boss, and he just sheds it off. Like, that was protecting you, why would you get rid of the armour? I don't know. But now, this is the second phase of Argorok. And in this one, it starts raining, and that somehow waters the Peahats, and they now fly, and we know what we can do with Peahats is to claw shot onto them. So that they're going to be used in this boss fight, as you might be able to tell. I will admit that I don't like how this boss functions, but aesthetically, I like the arena. I like how it plays out. It's quite a cinematic boss fight. Now we need to climb all the way back up to the top, and yeah, I like the atmosphere as well. Got this. We're up in the sky, and all of a sudden it's very stormy. Bit nerve-wracking, being this high up with lightning flying around. But no, the lightning can't strike you. Not in this game, at least. So get up to the top of this tower. In fact, I can. Oh, it forced me up to the top there. Let's unequip the Iron Boots, probably. And now we need to move because Argorok starts spewing fire. But he spews it very slowly. All we need to do is target the next Peahat and go around in a big circle. And when he stops breathing fire, any minute now, God, it's going to be out of breath, isn't it, if he keeps doing that. And from back here, we can target, instead of his tail, which has now lost the hook on the end of it, we have to target this glowing spot on his back, which just happens to be his weak point. Hit it a few times and then we plummet to Earth, and then we need to climb all the way back up again. But yeah, that is another solid hit on Argorok, and the wind does occasionally blow, so maybe do keep the Iron Boots equipped whenever you need to. Feel like being blown away. And now Argorok will attempt to, I guess, try and attack us as we're climbing up. But he's really, really slow. Also, he starts spewing fire in between. Make sure you don't go to the next tower while he's spewing fire, otherwise you're going to get roasted. And let's get one of these Peahats. Should probably de-equip the Iron Boots. Yes, if you have the Iron Boots equipped when you're holding onto a Peahat, it drags it down, which you don't really want to do. So let's go around him again. And I can't remember if it's the second hit of the second phase. But yeah, okay, so he's not going to start shooting fire until we actually stop. He's getting a bit smarter. Need to wait for him to acknowledge that, and then start spewing fire around again. Now I can't remember if it's this hit or the next one. I think it's this hit. Okay, it's the next hit. I won't spoil what happens. But let's grip onto his back and deliver a few more solid hits to it with our sword. A bit like Morphle. So yeah, very cinematic, sort of Monster Hunter-esque boss fight. Especially the recent Monster Hunter games, where you can mount them. Whoa, 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 whoa. Starting to get blown around while trying to claw shot target. But yeah, holding onto a monster while attacking it. Very cinematic. Let's get out of here before he decides to light me on fire. Well, I mean, if I shot up here, would that still hit me? I don't really want to risk it, but better to be safe than sorry. Anyway, let's find a Peahat. I don't know whether you need to look up in order to target them, but it helps if you look up so you can see where the Peahats are. Keep moving, Link. I swear I hit the X button, but he didn't do anything. So on this third hit of the second phase, he tries to like juke you out, in which he'll stop spewing fire and then face the other way, and then you just need to reverse around in a circle. Might catch you off guard. I guess that's the one thing in this boss, the element of surprise, that makes it a bit difficult. But you know, if you know what he does, he's pretty easy. I guess that's the problem of having played this game many times before, is that the bosses generally are the easiest part of the game. Let me just do a finishing blow and it will just chuck his guts up. Well, it's a good thing we weren't still on his back when he dropped to the ground. In fact, how did we survive the fall? Very curious ending to that boss fight. How did that work? But there is our heart container, and here is our final shard of the Mirror of Twilight. Technically our fourth, but I'll count it as the third. Jack, you did it! It's the fourth shard! Yeah, alright, fine, it's the fourth, it's not the third. Now we have them all. Hey, Jack. Words of the sages, do you remember them? Only the true ruler of the Twilight can destroy the Mirror of Twilight. Zelda could only break the Mirror of Twilight into shards. He couldn't utterly shatter it. That's proof of his false kingship. Jack, we have to hurry. To the mirror chamber. After all, a fake is a fake, and no matter how much you dress it up, the real thing always wins. And thus ends our escapade in the city in the sky. There's another heart container, and we are 2 hearts short of maxing out our life energy. So let's walk back. Midna won't take us straight to the surface, but she'll walk us back to the start of the dungeon. So I guess I'll go to the opening cannon area and end the episode after jumping in the cannon. Oh, it drops us off right with the cannon, that's nice. But I do want to quickly head to the Oocca shop, so I'll just cut over there. Also, damn it, I took damage from this goddamn Baba Serpent. Just have a grab a new heart container. I take a little tiny bit of damage, great. That's great. Okay, so as I mentioned, it's the last time our little escapade with Oocca in our party. From any dungeons here on out, we won't be using her. Thank you so much, adventurer. Gracious, you've done so much for us, adventurer. I hope you'll come see us again sometime, adventurer. Oh, you! Hey, wait! Wow, you're awesome. Hey, thanks. So yeah, there's nothing particularly interesting that she has to say, but she will be in the Oocca shop from here on out. We won't be using her in any future dungeons that we may visit. This was the last time that we can use her. So, with a fond farewell, I say, bye-bye, Oocca. Your design is weird. Also, great, it happened again. I fell off the map, and that's 4 hearts of damage. I was just trying to avoid this goddamn Baba Serpent by running past him, but clearly that's not an option. No, 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 no. So that's going to be it for this episode. We've completed the 7th dungeon and grabbed our final shard of the Mirror of Twilight. And in the next episode, we won't be heading to the mirror chamber just yet. I'm going to go around Hyrule and use the double claw shots to grab a few collectibles. We're probably going to finish up collecting everything in the overworld in the next episode. Like everything we can grab with claw shots. So once I've grabbed all the collectibles around the Lake Hylia area, we'll head off to the mirror chamber and try and find Zant. So I will see you next time. Bye for now.